Greetings, Internet, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. I'm your host, the Bookworm. Question: what is the most popular genre in literature? Answer: romance. Love them or hate them, you cannot deny that the romance genre is the king of literature. It's also one genre I've had the hardest time getting into. I've rarely ever checked out the romance section when I visited a bookstore, and I could probably name less than a handful of true romance novels that I have ever read. But this show is here to look at all books, no matter what my tastes are. Throughout the month of February, we will be looking at 4 different kinds of romance novels. And what better way to start than with a spark? Sit back and relax as we dive into The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody.
Who am I, and how, I wonder, will this story end? The sun has come up, and I am sitting by a window that is foggy with the breath of a life gone by. I'm a sight this morning. 2 shirts, heavy pants, a scarf wrapped twice around my neck, and tucked into a thick sweater knitted by my daughter 30 birthdays ago. The thermostat in my room is set as high as it will go, and a smaller space heater sits directly behind me. It clicks and groans, and spews hot air like a fairy tale dragon, and still my body shivers with a cold that will never go away. A cold that has been 80 years in the making. 80 years. I think sometimes, and despite my own acceptance of my age, it still amazes me that I haven't been warm since George Bush was president. I wonder if this is how it is for everyone my age. My life? It isn't easy to explain. It has not been the rip-roaring spectacle I fancy it would be, but neither have I buried around with the Gophers. I suppose it most resembled a blue chick stock, fairly stable, more ups than downs, and gradually treading upward over time. A good buy. A lucky buy. And I've learned that not everyone can say this about his life. But do not be misled. I am nothing special. Of this I am sure. I am a common man with common thoughts, and I've led a common life. There are no monuments dedicated to me, and my name will soon be forgotten. But I've loved another with all my heart and soul, and to me, this has always been enough. The romantics will call this a love story. The cynics will call it a tragedy. In my mind, it's a little bit of both. And no matter how you choose to view it in the end, it does not change the fact that it involves a great deal of my life and the path I've chosen to follow. The Notebook is your basic love story. A love story about Noah, a country boy who tells of how he fell in love with a rich city girl named Allie. How their love grew even though Allie's parents didn't agree to it, and how they got back together. All told from his notebook to Allie herself, who suffers from Alzheimer's, in the hope that she will remember their love. It's a story about how love can conquer all, from finding your true love at first sight, to overcoming the will of what others want, to saying F you to science itself, all in the name of love, and you will either love it or hate it. Seriously, you can look anywhere online, and common consensus with The Notebook is, OMG, this book tote made me cry, frowny face, to kill it with fire, kill it with fire, kill it with fire, kill it, kill it, kill it, with barely any middle ground. You either love it or you hate it. So where do I land? Well, I loved it. I know. How in the hell can I find this sappy love story good? Believe me, part of me wanted to hate it. This is as sappy as you can get with a love story, and I do mean sappy. I wouldn't be surprised if some people got diagnosed with diabetes after reading The Notebook. It's not that hard to hate the book. It follows every cliche about true love. How Noah is too perfect to be considered human. The dialogue filled with lovey-dovey uglies. and pulls the overused, but by God it worked for Jane Austen and will work for me, love at first sight. It's another fantasy about love that doesn't fit in with real life. Any cynic can tell you that. But I'm not a cynic. I'm a romantic. Even with all the flaws, I fell in love with Noah and Allie's relationship. While I'm not a fan of your first love being your true love, I couldn't deny that their love pulled on my heartstrings like a guitar, even with the cheesy dialogue and simplistic story. And I do mean simplistic. You can finish this book in an afternoon, no problem. That is one of the book's problems. I felt a lot of the details about the characters' lives were pushed too far into the background and could have used a little more page time, because what was there was interesting. It also means there really isn't too much to talk about the book because it would fall into spoilers. You would think I would hate that. But what little there is just so cute and I just want to snuggle with it.
You're dead to me.
I can't help it. I can't pretend not to like the characters. I can't pretend that I wasn't invested into this simplistic story. I can't pretend to be some cynic who finds these kinds of love stories derivative of what true love is. At the end of the day, I believe in a thing called love. I won't call it some grand masterpiece. It is escapist romance along the lines of like Big Fish. But when your only other example of romance novels is Twilight, it's no contest. It pulls off more, has likable characters, and more heart in half as many pages to any Twilight book. It's not for everyone. I will agree on that. But I had a great time with this sappy little romance all the way through. And if this is your thing, then you're in for a sappy good time. What about you, Internet? What's your opinion about The Notebook? Next week, Romance Month continues, and we are going to look at the example of trashy romance. Till next time, have a nice day.